Hey everyone, it's about time that I make a video that isn't a game share. I beat Spider-Man more recently, many days back, but I think it's time for just a little bit of a video or vlog, if you call it. My agenda is still to make a new channel, but I just don't know when and what to call it. But anyway, I guess what I could say is night times are quite difficult for me. Um, it's a roller coaster, and lately I've just been feeling like a landmine. I have a little bit of probably post traumatic stress disorder, PTSD. Um, Needless to say, what I've been thinking about, what I can tell you about to, a little bit of a short extent or very brief, kind of thing, is my mom was in a really crazy 16-year marriage relationship, probably a little bit longer. And she got divorced a few years ago. And um, my mom has issues. My mom is incapable of doing certain things and being the mom that she was supposed to be. And, people mock her for it. And me and my sister both, have tried with my mom, and my mom has just been, but she's trying. She's a little bit better now, but um, it is what it is. When you have a mom that is on, autism and stuff like that. So it's a little bit hard to deal with stuff like that, and people mock you for it or whatever have you. So and not to brag or anything, but I did get this cup from Amazon and I'm loving it. I have a Green Day mug that I'm getting to. This is the Fleetwood Mac Go Your Own Way. I just thought because I'm a soloist now and I'm actually not doing my old band thing anymore. My new band stuff. I dropped out of that. I couldn't deal with the drummer being nag, and kind of being controlling a little bit, and creative differences more or less, and just a big age gap, and pretty much just be too much of a dictatorship. So, but anyway, I tried to get back on track and not be going off on a ramble here and stay coherent. Um, this guy named Jens, he he was just a very nasty guy and was married to my mom about 16 years, and just heard recently that he might have lost his hand or his fingers at his job. And you know my mom was saying, karma's getting to him. I don't believe in karma, and i don't I don't you know pray or wish any kind of inflictions or any pain to anybody. Um, but I don't feel sorry for the guy because he would threaten me. I remember, what was it, my friend Tommy was around there. My friend Tommy, who actually got me into 3 Days Grace at the time, about 8 or 9 years ago. Um, he was, threatening to punch me in the face for out of no reason. Um, my mom's husband at the time that she was with for 16 years. And the whole thing that was just so crazy. And the guy's very nasty, very um, unappealing, and just rude, and he thinks he's so great and greater than anybody. And when I would visit my mom for as long as they were together, he would insult my mom's family in front of me, in front of her, my side of the family, because I have a huge, extensive family. So, and, you know, predicting, processing stuff inside his head, what he thinks, or who is going to, who's gonna live and die in my family, just out of lifelong expectancies from my great grandmother dying first, and then, oh, I think your great aunt Dory's gonna die because that's her twin sister, and blah blah blah, and die. You know, I don't want to dwell on this, but I've been thinking about it a little bit. I mean, since my mom mentioned that she heard from someone that that was true, that he had an accident when he was working, and now he's paying the price. So you don't just do that to people and cause psychological harm. When you're just a little toddler up until now, it's like, yeah, there's quite a lot of mind fuckery, as I like to call it, in my life, and in what it was with my mom when Jens was around. But it's okay. Like, I'm okay. I live alone. I'm in my suite. I have my sister's sister-in-law lives upstairs. My brother-in-law's brother lives upstairs. I mean, this is their place. This is my place to call home for a little bit. Um, but just stuff in the past that kind of brings, just brings it out into fruition, and brings it out into the limelight. So, I don't really want to get down deep and gritty. I'm not just doing this out of poor me. I just have this on my mind, and I want to kind of share this with some of you guys. I'm not sure what I'm doing. Every day it's a struggle to kind of do stuff that I normally don't really do, because it's quite anxiety driven, going out and doing nothing, and having people just stare at you. Or ask why you don't work, or that you need to be being stable, and then they don't understand that you're not stable, and that, okay, so it's all about what's in my pocket. Like, I have to understand that. So my well-being doesn't mean shit to anybody. So that stuff's gonna get right on track, but that takes a lifelong process with healing, and so I'm on a break here. But even though I'm here, no one's around hurting me, saying things against me, or doing anything, or I'm safe. I still don't feel safe, because there's a lot of things that are brought on, and I go through quite crazy different things that I don't understand, and sometimes when I wake up and I'm looking at the wall, or I gotta figure out a scenario, or exhaustion of sleep and stuff on the internet. Yeah, a lot of post traumatic stuff and stuff that's extremely heavy, and sometimes I live stream on Facebook, and actually I live stream every now and then on Facebook, and no one watches me. So what's the point, right? Everything's dying down, dying down. I used to have over 300, 400 friends on Facebook, and now it's really dying down to minus 100, less than that. It's not about people at the end of the day, about how many people you have. I had so many friends on Facebook at the time, and they were knocking me off all the time, and it's like, wow, okay, that's how it feels. But you gotta know how many people of those were friends, Um, I don't know why I'm making this video. I think because I don't have a lot of people to talk to this to. But it's hard. It's hard to write down my thoughts. I wish I could write a catalog of songs and put them on a CD, or go to a producer one day and say, hey, it's hard. One of my best songs I didn't even write by myself. I had help with my friend Grant, who helped me write this amazing song called A Place I Call Home. And that song's coming up on 3 years since we wrote that song. And the thing is, with him, we're not the two sides of the same coin. We're quite different, me and him. He's, religious, I'm not, but then it's strange how me and him could, kind of outweigh our differences a little bit, and, write a song, or go on on a hike, go geocaching, catch up to see what's happening at the theaters, just brainstorm and talk. But the thing is, he's moving to Quebec and Montreal next summer, so and he's like the only friend of mine that comes up and sees me. So when that happens, I just don't know what I'm gonna do. Like we outweigh our differences for quite a lot of it, actually, pretty much, actually all of it. So. Um, so it's, it's next August he'll be moving sometime. It's a little less than a year away, but yeah, I don't know. Life keeps moving on, but do you really want it to move on? Like it keeps going, and I don't know. It's just a lot of procrastinating stuff with me, and I can only do so much. I've actually been thinking of doing a Patreon or something along those lines to fund me stuff, to better camera, or get a working computer to do all these different things I want to do, or instruments, or I don't know. It would be nice if I could start my own company or something like that, but sometimes you have to have money to have a company, sometimes not. But I just don't know, and stuff that happens in the past is brought on to you in the present, and I don't know how that works, but you could try and change your course for the future about what had happened in the past, and change what it's going to be like in the future. Yeah, I have a hard time at nighttime. I hate being alone, sleeping alone. Ugh. and I need help. I don't even know what I'll call this, what the title this under. I don't know if I'll even put this up. What am I doing? Um, oh, fuck. It's so hard. It really is hard. I've just gone through a lot. I mean, everybody's gone through a lot. But what I've seen, because no one's been around to really defend me and defend my honor, you know, used to have, my mom's husband at the time. It's like, oh, I'm married to your mom, so that means I'm your stepdad. No, you're dysfunctional fucktard who cheated on my mom. Um, I knew it longer. My mom knew about when he cheated on her and all these different things, but I kept quiet. And I'm just so happy she's not around that crap anymore. And my mom used to get beaten by him too. I was never really physically abused, but it's always been a mental wreck, which I think is, quite equal in a lot of ways and takes a longer time healing, But either way, it, it actually doesn't matter, that's both, it's quite, abuse is abuse. There's no question about that, is being abused. And I think I remember my sister one time saying that she called the cops on Jens one time, and years ago when they lived in a cabin somewhere, and Jens was all acting the part and just like faking it, like thinking, like saying everything's alright, but 16 years and being in some really chaotic relationship and to a point where your kid is being affected by it, and then you're not knowing what to believe because then your dad has a girlfriend who, doesn't understand your mom, and it's like, oh, I had a mom, and she's saying that, I had someone there, and I had a mom raise me, and blah blah blah, and then what do you know? Your uncle Willie wins the Stanley Cup, and then she splashes alcohol on your face because she's insulting your mom, and she's drunk as fuck. And then your dad just doesn't, believe you and stays with her, and the rest is history. So, um, I hate how everything's just on a repeat cycle. I don't know what to do really. I just feel deep inside that there's stuff preventing me and people preventing me from doing the stuff I want to do and the life I want to live. And how I feel that way is just how I feel that way. These barriers and all these different things. It's crazy. I always thought that they would be together forever, my mom and Jens. Just a really sick and twisted guy, and scary. Scary in a lot of ways. Um, but I'm glad that's over now. And she seems to be somewhat happier now and away from all that stuff, living on her own. Yeah. You know, I have not told my mom and my dad. My parents split up when I was 4. Um, I've never told my mom or my dad my orientation about, I like both. That shouldn't really matter. You they don't need to. I know they know. Um, Definitely know my dad knows. My mom's quite, different and, learning and, or patience and stuff like that. But it's so goddamn hard. It's so hard. It's like keeping that bottled in, especially from your parents and all those different things. But I don't know. I try to stay out of harm's way, even out of my sister's life, out of my niece and my nephew, out of my brother-in-law. Just try to stay out of it because it gets too hectic and too drama filled. So it's hard keeping under wraps, and it's hard. It's like Harry Potter. It's like you almost might be called, mudblood in the Hogwarts kind of thing. You'd be called mudblood, but then here in reality, you wouldn't be talking to, or you'd be called fag, or like, why are you living that lifestyle, and blah blah blah, and I don't understand you, and how could you? But I don't know, and I just don't think if I'll have that thing, because my self-esteem is so low. I suffer from a lot of anxiety and major depression, and it's just something you just don't say. I mean, like, my family's quite dysfunctional, like the best, Um, so um, I don't know what else to say. It's been a long, stressful journey, I must say. I think back to the song I wrote almost 3 years ago with Grant, my friend Grant, who co-wrote that song with me, and just some of the lyrics that are still relevant today, and you know very, Come on, I'm on a landmine half the time. I feel like I'm a landmine. I'm just ready to burst and explode sometimes. I'm always incomplete. There's just no one around. That's why I really like 3 Days Grace, because they really resonate to my pain. And people are like, what makes you like heavy metal? Why do you listen to that stuff that loud and grungy and heavy and scream? And I'd love to be able to scream like Chester Bennington or Andy Biersack or Matt Walsh from 3 Days Grace, My Darkest Days, or Danny Horshaw from Ask Alexandra. Maybe one day. And why? Because heavy metal just really, that primal scream, just the emotion behind it, and you gotta let the pain out. That's why. And just, there's a lot of emotion behind their stuff and stuff that really touches on, a lot of different subjects, with love, love-hate relationships, um, um, staying around even though it's hard. Every time you feel like dying, keep climbing the mountain kind of stuff, and just being like yourself, not being just like other people. That's what 3 Days Grace is all about. 3 Days Grace was originally known as Groundswell, but the bass player Brad Waltz was going to be an accountant, and then there was a thing going around when he was an accountant that if you were to change your life in about 3 days, it's a 3 days grace period, or they were talking about a 3 days grace period. I don't know too much about it other than what they say, what it says. But also there's a 3 days grace, or 3 days where they keep you in the psycho ward, which is a crazy thing too. I think this is at the point where I say I'm done with this video, and because I'm even not sure if I should be making this or not. But for some strange reason, I don't know how I survived the life I had. I'm still living it. It's still hard, and I'm not sure if I will or not. It's crazy. But thank God I don't have to deal with certain people I don't have to deal with anymore. If I don't want to, I don't have to see them. Another note before I go, I tried, and I don't know if this is ever going to happen the right way. It may have to take some time, but I tried to write a song for a friend of mine that killed herself when I was 16. And I don't know if I could touch on that because it's so touchy. It's so touchy. It's hard to think what would happen if she didn't. I'm surprised I didn't when I was, that young. I'm like shocked. Tossed around from home to home. It really, it fucks with you. It really does. But what triggered me is the whole, you know, bringing him up, and she was telling me about, you know, he lost his hand and possibly doing something at his work, an accident. Um, but yeah, I don't know. I don't know how you recover from certain things. Certain things just stick with you. I mean, it's like that Batman comic. The was it the Man Who Laughs or the Killing Joke? I think it was the Killing Joke comic where it goes through the Joker's origins, and on the day where he's a failed comedian or something like that, or his wife's pregnant or something like that, and gets thrown in the vat of chemicals. I think before he turned into Joker, he was having a really bad day, and it just everything changes on the one bad day. Everyone has that one bad day that changes everything, and some people can't come back from it. You know, it's kind of hard when you have somebody who's connected with your parents, and they're not your parents, and they like to think that they are, and you go through years and years of all this different thing, and you start to see the real colors, you know. So, but if I were to go to my dad's now for an occasion, which I don't spend occasions, I don't celebrate Christmas, I don't celebrate Thanksgiving, I don't celebrate stuff that are, you know, on days that people can't decide. Is it on the 8th? Is it on the 9th, 7th, 8th, 10th, 11th, 12th, 13th, 14th, 15th? What day is it? You know, so, and not only that, if I was working, I would be complaining about it too, because I would want to work more and get more money. And it's not all about money, but it would help benefit me. And that being said, with, you know, trying to set up a Patreon or a new account with a Patreon and shifting you guys over to there, we'll see. And for the Patreon would be to support me with my channel. We get a better camera, equipment, and the stuff to do, you know. And if it's vlogging, it's vlogging. So, but I had to just let it out. I just felt like it, I guess. Nobody should be treated unfairly. I mean, if people have their own preconceived about perception about what is a good way to be treated or not. But I think we all know that, you know, treat others how you want to be treated. If okay, you're not gonna stab somebody in the back just for the sake of it, right? There's talk down to someone's family right in front of that person's own family. You know, when they have, you know, extensive family. So, yeah. But that's it. Uh, if there's anyone watching, I'll be amazed if you got through this long with me on my, you know, my um, my ramble, my concerns. I should be happy because it's like October, but it's no matter the month. Any day of the month in a given year, it's tricky. It's really, really, really tricky. I mean, stuff can get brought on and triggered you any day of the moment of any given year, good or bad. It's just how you deal with it. You know, it's like that song by Black Veil Brides, When They Call My Name. Like, easily one of my favorite songs now from them. And it took me a while to hear that song and be like, this song's alright. And I remember I was, stoned, smoking on my vape, and be like, it took me a few listens, and I was like, man. And I was like crying. I was like, listening to the lyrics a little bit more, like, I need you to tell me everything's going to be alright when I know it's not, and chase away all these demons out in the night, when they call my name, kind of a thing. They tell me everything's going to be right. Chase away the voices in the night when they call my name. And that's like, wow, that's like me every single night. And yeah, it's a lot like that. You need someone to help you through the night. And no one's going to help you 100%, I know. But to ease off the tension and to inspire you and to be there with you. Compared to these other people that are just not for you, and toxic people, manipulative, and people that have abused you in all different shapes and forms. And not to know what to expect, because that Jens guy, he was very unpredictable in his actions and his traits and his mindset, very psychotic. Very psychotic. And 16 years of that just felt like an imprisonment. Felt like net dictatorship. That said, I'm officially ending this now. And I really don't know why I made this, but hopefully I said what I need to say. And everything will be okay in the long run. It's hard. It's hard. I'm going now. Okay.